Hey guys, John here from Sonic Drive Studio. I hope you're all doing well. I recently got some awesome new studio monitors, and in this quick little video I just want to talk about them for a minute. Because getting new studio monitors is a quite substantial and important upgrade for your studio, whether it's your home studio or your professional studio. And some of you might be like, man, this is not a guitar, this isn't a pedal, this isn't an amplifier, but trust me, one can have gas for gear like studio monitors. And I had some serious gas for these speakers before I got them. So I've had these new studio monitor speakers for a couple months now. I wanted to get used to them before making this video. And of course you can see them up here. I'm using this camera angle for the first time, and I even cleaned up my desk, kinda. And of course, I'm talking about the IK Multimedia iLoud Precision MTM monitors. And yeah, I'm absolutely blown away at how awesome they are. And again, studio monitors are super important because all the music that you make and that you listen to and that you mix and that you master and all that stuff goes through them. Unless you're using headphones, of course, but you know what I mean. Anyway, why did I choose the IK Multimedia iLoud Precision MTMs, you ask? Well, firstly, I heard great things about these speakers. A bunch of my friends, like Henning, have iLoud Precisions. Henning has the MTMs, and I know that Mendel from Mendel Beidelei, he has the 6-inch monitors, and I think Dan Kaminsky as well. And they were all raving about these monitors, how great they sounded and how flat they were and how wonderful the bass response was. And then when I was over at Henning's place, I tried them for myself and I was like blown away by the sheer power that these monitors have. Now, the previous monitors that I had were fine, but they were huge, okay? So these are also a little bit smaller than the previous ones that I had. And as you can see, this room isn't huge. It's long and deep, but it's not very wide. So it's not a huge room, so the fact that they are a little bit smaller was better. They weigh less as well, so they sit more comfortably on the stands. Now, I should also mention that one of the other reasons why I got these is the smaller MTM speakers by IK Multimedia. They're like this big and much more affordable, and those speakers also blew me away. Just the sound quality and the bass response for their size is just incredible. I have those little speakers in my other setup by my TV, and the quality of those little affordable MTMs gave me the confidence to go for the bigger ones as well. And they certainly do not disappoint. Another factor for these speakers is the built-in ARC room correction. Now, my previous speakers also had that, but the implementation on these speakers is just way easier, and it's like a super quick and easy process to create your own sound profiles or room correction based on your own environment. And for me personally, that's quite important because I like my studio monitors to sound as flat as I possibly can get them. In terms of the specs, they also give you less ear fatigue by how well time-aligned all the frequencies are, so that's a nice extra touch as well. You get the software with these, the XMonitor Software, which is great. We'll get into that in a minute as well. It's just great for controlling the speakers via USB, so that's also quite easy. My previous speakers were connected through the CAT cable, so the internet cables. These are connected with USB, and it's just super easy to hook them up and to do like firmware updates and stuff like that. And I also got the little remote, which you can use to change the different virtual speaker types and stuff. So that's also really nice. I've got that on my desk. So how do they sound? Well, when I turned them on for the first time after doing the room correction, I was very impressed. Of course, the room correction makes them sound very flat, which is great. But I was definitely able to hear more detail in certain areas of the frequency spectrum, like some details in the low mids or in the mid-range or the upper mid-range that I wasn't really able to hear before, so that's wonderful. The low-end extension is also great, but flat and honest, and the top end sounds great and detailed as well. So in terms of the overall frequency response, yeah, I'm impressed for sure. Now, I'm not super technical when it comes to studio monitors, but I'll put some specs of these speakers on the screen. But of course, they have a very wide frequency spectrum and all that good stuff. But yeah, they sound very pleasant indeed, and again, very flat, especially with the room correction. Now, if you have a bigger room or a room that's like super well treated, you might not need to use the room correction, but I definitely recommend at least trying it out. When you first try room correction, it can be a little bit jarring because everything sounds a little bit weird when it's super flat when you hear it for the first time. But when you get used to it, it can definitely be very beneficial to getting great mixes, especially in sort of rooms that aren't ideal for that sort of thing. And I have admitted this before, but this room isn't ideal. Of course, I did some treatment and stuff, but the ARC room correction is just, it does wonders for me. Now for the room correction, the process is very easy. When you buy one of these speakers, each speaker comes with one of these ARC microphones, and this is basically like a flat microphone that you plug directly into the speaker, and then the software guides you through the process. You basically have to put it on 4 positions and then shoot like some sine waves, and then it makes the room correction based on that information. You do that for both speakers and boom, you're done. It only takes a couple of minutes. And again, with my old speakers, the process was very long and tedious. But yeah, it's super easy with these little mics, and they come free with the speakers, so that's awesome. And you can even use these with the little cheaper MTMs for the room correction, which is just pretty cool. Now, as I said, on my desk I have the remote control as well. It's a very simple device with 4 buttons, and you can basically select 4 different presets that you load into the software. And by the way, you can hook it up to one speaker and then hook up a cable from one speaker to the other and daisy chain them, so you don't have to connect the little controller to both speakers. So that's handy as well. But yeah, in the XMonitor software, you can do a lot of things. You can do anything that you can do on the back of the speaker, which is like EQ adjustments for desk setups, you know, tweaking the low-end response, tweaking the top-end response, and stuff like that. But you can go even deeper. There are simulations for a bunch of different studio monitors in there, including the little MTMs that I mentioned. So I can even virtually monitor through those, through these, which is kind of weird, kind of like studio monitor inception. And then a bunch of other different like classic types. You can also listen through hi-fi sets, smartphones, and a Bluetooth speaker. So that's also kind of interesting. And at first it sounds kind of weird when you try these different speaker profiles, so to speak, but it is cool that you can monitor through a bunch of different devices on these speakers. You can even tweak the EQ, so add or remove low end, for example, add some top end, depending on your room or your personal needs. So that's always a nice touch as well. And I must also add that updating the firmware is very easy. When you're hooked up to USB, they basically tell you when there's a new firmware update available, and then you do the update and voila, you're done. Now the price isn't too bad considering the quality, in my opinion. When you buy these at Thomann right now, I think they're around 999 euros. But when you buy them at the IK Multimedia website currently, I think they're around 800 euros or so. So that's a great deal. And there might be a discount that's going on right now, so I'm not sure if you're seeing this, if that discount is still active, but it's something to note. Anyway, I just wanted to talk to you about my new speakers, show them to you, and yeah, because I love gear, I love talking about gear, and I think it's cool to share with you what I'm using in my studio. I could also make a video about my cameras, for example, if you guys are interested. I recently invested in some new cameras, you know, stuff like that. So let me know in the comments down below what else you'd like to see regarding my setup and my studio. Right, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on these monitors, if you've tried them. Please also hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, as that really helps the channel out. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to support the channel, you can buy something at my affiliate links below at no additional cost, and you get to support the channel that way, so that is awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.